Imagine walking into Walmart, the store famous for everyday low prices, and finding higher price tags, half-empty shelves, and fewer choices than before. That's what millions of Americans are experiencing right now. To truly understand why Walmart is facing such significant challenges today, we need to rewind and examine the series of events that led us here. Walmart, a retail giant known for its low prices and vast selection, has always relied on a complex global supply chain to keep its shelves stocked and its customers happy. But recent developments have shaken the very foundation of this business model. The story really begins in early 2025, a time when the retail landscape was already shifting. Consumers were feeling the pinch from inflation, and retailers were searching for ways to keep costs down. But then, a major policy change sent shockwaves through the industry. The Trump administration, in a move that surprised many, dramatically raised tariffs on certain Chinese imports to an unprecedented 125%. This was a huge escalation from previous years, and it immediately made imported goods much more expensive for American companies. The backlash was swift. Businesses, both large and small, voiced their concerns, warning that such high tariffs would hurt not just companies, but also everyday consumers. Global partners expressed alarm, fearing a ripple effect across international markets. In response to mounting pressure, the White House eventually scaled the tariffs down to 30%. But even at 30%, these tariffs represent a massive increase in costs for retailers like Walmart, who depend on affordable imports to maintain their low prices. The impact has been felt throughout the company, from distribution centers to store shelves, and ultimately, by the millions of customers who shop there every week. Once those tariffs kicked in, the impact showed up quickly in Walmart stores. Prices started creeping higher in almost every aisle, from toys and clothes to electronics and even pantry staples. For families already watching every dollar, the difference was impossible to ignore. Walmart didn't just sit back and watch this happen, it fought hard to contain the damage. As the world's largest retailer, Walmart was acutely aware of the risks that rising tariffs pose to its business model, which relies on offering low prices to millions of customers. The company's leadership quickly realized that if they didn't act, the impact could ripple through every aisle of their stores, affecting everything from electronics to groceries. Determined to protect its customers and its bottom line, Walmart launched a full-scale lobbying effort in Washington. Executives met with lawmakers and White House officials, making their case that the tariffs would ultimately hurt American families by driving up the cost of everyday goods. They argued passionately that removing or reducing tariffs was essential not just for Walmart, but for the broader U.S. economy. Walmart's warnings weren't just behind closed doors. The company took its message public, holding press conferences and speaking to the media. Executives and spokespeople explained that if the tariffs remained in place, shoppers would soon see higher prices on shelves. News outlets covered the story, and concerned customers began to notice the changes in their weekly bills. But lobbying the government was only one part of Walmart's strategy. Behind the scenes, the company's global sourcing teams reached out to suppliers in China, urging them to find ways to lower their prices. Walmart's negotiators pushed for discounts, cost reductions, and even changes in manufacturing processes to help absorb some of the new expenses. These negotiations were tough, with both sides feeling the pressure. Walmart hoped that by working closely with its suppliers, it could offset at least some of the tariff costs and continue delivering value to its customers, even as the trade war raged on. Here's where the story takes a surprising turn. While Walmart and other United States retailers are scrambling, Canada's retail sector is quietly booming, thanks to American shoppers. Canada isn't just sitting back and enjoying the extra traffic. It's actively working to turn this moment into a long-term advantage. Of course, this sudden retail boom isn't without its challenges. Canada's infrastructure is feeling the pressure. Ports, highways, and warehouses in key provinces are starting to run at full capacity, and a big spike in cross-border demand could push them to their limits. When you step back and look at the bigger picture, what's happening here is about much more than just the products on Walmart's shelves or the price tags you see in the aisles. It's a story that stretches far beyond the walls of any single store, touching the lives of millions of shoppers and reshaping the way people think about where and how they spend their money. Over the past few years, American consumers have been feeling the pinch of rising prices, not just at Walmart, but across nearly every major retailer. While some of these increases are due to global supply chain issues, a significant factor has been the tariffs introduced during the Trump administration. These tariffs were designed to boost American manufacturing and protect jobs here at home by making imported goods more expensive and encouraging people to buy products made in the USA. But as with many big policy changes, there have been some unexpected consequences. Instead of simply buying more American-made goods, many shoppers, especially those living near the northern border, have started looking for better deals in Canada. In fact, billions of dollars in spending have migrated across the border, as Americans flock to Canadian stores in search of lower prices and greater value. This new era of cross-border shopping is transforming local economies, changing shopping habits, and highlighting just how interconnected our two countries have become.